Hey everybody, so I want to talk to you about my PAX East experience. PAX East was this past weekend and it was my very first PAX, so I have a lot to say about it. And I'm also going to do the PAX East haul video. So this is two things in one. So we'll just get the haul out of the way first. So the very first thing that I start with all of my haul videos is the badge. So, of course, it's PAX East. I went for Friday only. So this is the Friday pass. And the back of it is the map of the place, which isn't really a good map because the BCC is a pretty big venue and that map doesn't help at all. I mean, it's nice of them to put a map in the back of it, but it just doesn't help. And this is the, I don't know if you can see it, but this is the lanyard they were giving out at the convention. So this is the first thing I picked up. And it was like in a bin in front, like outside the expo hall. A big bin full of lanyards. They were just giving them out like candy. So it's like, it was like trick or treat on Halloween. Like they had a whole bin full with these lanyards. And they're just giving away like candy. So the very first thing that my sister and I did after we waited in line to get in the venue in the first place was to go to the expo hall, and the very first thing that we did in the expo hall was go to the Nintendo booth. And the line, let me tell you, the line was wicked long. It wasn't as bad as lines I've been through before, like Anime Boston 2008 was probably the worst line I've been through in my entire life. Yeah, 5 hours in that fucking line. So the Nintendo line was literally painful to get through. Like, I felt mostly pain on my back, a little bit on my legs, but mostly on my back. My back was fucking killing me. I had to sit down a few times while in line, but a lot of people around us were doing the same thing. So, once it was finally your turn to get to the booth and play the games, they gave you this little checklist thing. Of course, the line was so big because the Nintendo Switch recently came out. So, of course, everybody wanted to try it, and there's some games that haven't come out yet for it, so you got this little checklist, and you had to play 3 games to get a special prize. And of course, the ones that I picked were Splatoon 2, ARMS, and 1-2 Switch. And when you played each game, they gave you a pin. So here's the Splatoon pin. See, that game, everybody wanted to play Splatoon 2. Like, that was a thing. The first game that everyone wanted to play when they finally got out of that damn line was to play Splatoon 2. And we were no exception. We did the same exact thing. We wanted to play that game first. Well, after we played Splatoon 2, we played ARMS, which is a pretty fun game. I didn't expect that I would like it that much. It was definitely a workout on our arms because we were playing our 3DSs in line and our arms sort of got a little sore. So I'm sure if we hadn't done that, we probably would have performed better. But it's got Ribbon Girl on it, and then Ribbon Boy or whatever his name is. Arm Man, I think. I don't know, I play as Ribbon Girl when we play the game. So that's that pin. And then the last game we played was 1-2 Switch. Yeah, it wasn't really our type of game because it was just a game we wanted to play to get the checklist. We had a choice between ARMS, Splatoon 2, Street Fighter, 1-2 Switch, and Snipper Clips, and then Super Bomberman R. So after Splatoon 2 and ARMS, the choices weren't that great. We picked 1-2 Switch because no one was really there to play because no one really wanted to play it, so we thought, you know, if we play this game, we'd get out of there, we'd get our prize, and we were good. So after you do all that, you finally get to go to the Nintendo table, like a little table that's on the side of the booth, to claim your prize. You had a choice between a Nintendo Switch pin or a Nintendo Switch hat, and I went with the Nintendo Switch pin. It's the metal. Unlike the other pins, this one is entirely metal. It looks pretty nice. So of course there was a lot more of those in the hat, so I just went with the pin because it looks nicer. Yeah. So yeah, spent 3 hours in line for this pin. But it was worth it, because I got to play the games, which were really fun. And we got to play Splatoon 2, which hadn't come out yet, so that's pretty cool. While we were waiting in line, I ran into a familiar face in line, and he gave me one of his cards. This is Nobi Noodle. They have a YouTube page. Actually, I featured this guy on my channel, as a matter of fact, from the Sun Matsuri vlogs. He was the guy who was wearing the purple hat that had like dog ears on it, so he was featured in one of my vlogs, and I told him he was featured in one of my vlogs, and he was happy to hear that, so we took a selfie together in line, and it was all good. And then I don't know why I was given this. I don't remember. I think it's some card or something, and it had like a little time on it. I'm like, what does this all mean? Of course, I was too focused on everything else to even like realize that there was a time on the back of this. So after my sister and I finished with the Nintendo booth, we went straight to the Sony booth and we got a lanyard. This is what they were giving out. It's quite cool. Sony 20th anniversary. It's got this really neat little hook at the end of it. I really like this lanyard though. It's got like a metal little buckle. And they have like a little plastic one at the end. So this is one of my favorite things that I got from the con. So I'm probably gonna put like future AAC badges on it, because AAC they don't give you lanyards, and I want to have all my badges and lanyards so I can hang up on my door. So that's what that'll be used for. Other than the Instinct one from GameStop, we used that for this year's. And then right after we went to the Sony booth, I got this pin for the Kingdom Hearts mobile game update. I don't know if you can see it that well, but here it is. It's for the Union X Cross add-on or something like that. I don't know. I don't play the mobile game. So one thing I forgot to mention about the Sony lanyard is that they were basically just giving them out like candy. You don't have to try any of their games or anything. They just gave it to you. Unlike Nintendo, where you had to play their games in order to get their free stuff, Sony just gave the lanyards away like freaking candy. So that saved us the trouble because we were so tired from staying in line. And then what else? Of course, that button was not the only thing I walked out with from the Square Enix booth. I got some posters. Here is one of them for the mobile game, and it's got the characters on it from like one of the metal art from the game. And it's the most important thing. The most important thing about this poster is that there's Riku on it. That's his possible Kingdom Hearts 3 design. They did reveal the whole damn thing already. I mean, come on, we've waited long enough. We've waited long enough. And I got another poster. Of course, I saw people walking around with these, so I had to grab one. I just had to. So here's the artwork for Kingdom Hearts 2.8, and it is beautiful. And then on the back of it is for the for 1.5 and 2.5. It's got the old art on it. And then I'm gonna display on this side, not this side, because like I don't care about this side that much. But this one's gorgeous. Of course, it is the cover art for the for 2.8. I got one for Alex too, and he loved it. So yeah, 2 new Kingdom Hearts posters, as if I didn't have enough already. And then the very last thing that we got from PAX was this Breath of the Wild pin. And we had to stay in another line to get it. Surprisingly, it was pretty long. It wasn't that bad. It was only like an hour, because like the demo was like 20 minutes. So like they brought in 20 people for each 20 minutes. So Liz and I were very lucky to get into the line before the expo hall closed. We were probably gotten there like maybe 15 or 20 minutes before they closed. So we were able to play the game and snag a pin. And that's one of the things that I really wanted out of all of this PAX adventures. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's everything I got from PAX. You know, unlike PAX, well, unlike other cons, like, you can get stuff at PAX for free. You don't have to spend any money. I mean, of course, they had vendors and stuff, but, like, all the stuff I just showed you, I got for free. Well, except for the badge. I paid $60 for that, but everything else was free. So you really don't have to spend any money at PAX at all, unless there's some things that you want, because they had a A few vendors had t-shirts and like plushies and stuff like that, but most of those tables are at other cons anyway. I mean, if there's one that doesn't go to cons around here, but most of the other ones you see in other cons. Okay, so that pretty much covers the hall portion of this video. Now I'm going to talk about my experiences at PAX East 2017. Sorry that the lighting is so shitty. I don't have very good lighting in this room, so please bear with that. So PAX East was a very different convention than what I'm used to. Like, PAX East and anime cons are very, very different, and I learned that this past Friday. So, unlike anime conventions where you can just take your time and do everything you want to do, and there's not like any pressure to be anywhere unless there's photo shoots you have to attend or like panels and stuff. PAX has a ton of pressure to get to the booths you want to go to and the games you want to try out. Like, there was a lot of pressure at PAX. The very first thing that my sister and I did when we walked into this BCC was go straight to the expo hall and go to the Nintendo booth and stay in line there for 3 hours, because I mean, it's a good thing that we got there when we did, because the line got worse but after we went in line. So we actually commuted from here to the convention. So my sister, we woke up really early in the morning. We went to the station, the nearby train station. We took the commuter rail in, and then we went on the red line, and then we took the silver line, and then we eventually got to the con. So when I first saw the Boston Convention Center in person, I was like, holy shit, this place is huge. Like, Heinz Convention Center is nothing compared to this place. Like, this place is fucking huge. So we entered through the, I saw this huge, when we walked closer to the convention, I saw a bunch of these huge clusters of people, and I'm like, oh, that must be the line. Well, that's fantastic. So we had to wait in line when it's snowing. Yes, it was snowing. So we had to wait in line in the snow, and I was like, oh joy, that's gonna be fun. And so my sister went into the Westin, because there was another line to get in, which was inside the Westin, so we went in there and got in that line instead, and we learned later on that that wasn't the smartest choice, but hey, we didn't really have to wait in the snow. And of course, like Anime Boston, they had metal detectors and like security there at each entrance. I think it's a Boston law now. They have to have security. As much as it inconveniences things, it's a law, so we have to live with it. So we waited at least about maybe an hour in that line, and then we went straight to the expo hall, and we picked up one of those lanyards I showed you that's on my PAX badge, and then we went to the expo hall, and then we went straight to the Nintendo booth. But when I first stepped into the expo hall and saw it for the first time in person, I was like, holy shit, Jesus Christ. Like, it was massive. Like, the pictures just do not do it justice. And in the expo hall, there are these two sky bridges above the hall. Like, there's one in the front and then one in the way back. So you're able to see people walk through it from below, which I was watching a lot of cosplayers of people walking through the sky bridge while I was in the Nintendo line. So yeah, that's the first thing we did. We went to the Nintendo line and we played the games. So that was a painful line. I already said so in the hall portion. And we did run into a few familiar faces. Ran to the guy, the Nobi Noodle dude that I mentioned earlier. He was in line with us. And then I ran to my friend Elena, who was going to be our Nozomi in the Chengsum group. So we talked a bit. That's when we were waiting for Zelda Breath of the Wild. She walked right past us. I noticed her Diva Mountain Dew jetpack. I'm like, yeah, that's definitely her, all right. So I think she's one of the few people. I mean, she might be the only one who's done that with her Diva cosplay. So of course there was tons of Overwatch. Like, there was a ton of Overwatch cosplayers. I saw a lot of Divas, a few Tracers Probably a few other characters that I don't really know because I don't really play Overwatch and I don't really care about it. Don't kill me. But I saw a bunch of people carrying the big Overwatch bags. They probably got them from the Blizzard booth, which probably was swamped. Thank God we didn't go there. But I saw a bunch of people carrying those, and of course there's a bunch of other cosplayers. There's a really nice cosplay that had like light up armor and props. There's some really extravagant ones, and there's also some ones that are just kind of simple, want to chill out, you know. There's really no in between with PAX. You either get the really extravagant cosplays, or the really simple ones. Like there's no in between. So when Liz and I finally were able to get into the Nintendo booth, the very first thing we did was stay in a little line for the Splatoon 2 demo. We sucked at it because we didn't really know what we were doing because we never really played a Nintendo Switch, which it was really cool to actually play in the Nintendo Switch because, you know, we missed out on pre-orders and we don't have the money to afford one yet because I make shitty money and wash dishes. So it was cool to play one. And then when we were playing 1-2 Switch, like the employees there were really like pressuring us to play it. They're like, "Oh, you want to play another game? Play another game?" It was like we were just like, okay. And then we played 2 games, and then we just said, you know, enough's enough. We don't want to play anymore. And they're like, "Oh, please play another game." I'm like, no, we're good. So you can tell we weren't interested at all in 1-2 Switch. Like, I don't think anybody really was. Well, when Liz and I came back to the Nintendo booth to get in line for Breath of the Wild demo, we saw the Nintendo employees who were working there just playing the game amongst themselves because that's how little people were interested in it. Like, nobody was really interested in 1-2 Switch. I think they play amongst themselves because no one was really interested. So, I mean, it was just a party game. It wasn't really our type of game. I don't think it was anybody's there, so, like, I think people only played it to get that little checklist thing done and get the free pin and then get the hat and Switch stuff. So that's what I've observed. So Liz and I, we basically went from Nintendo booth to the Sony booth to the Square Enix booth, and then we went to eat lunch, and then went back to the expo hall and we explored the vendors and stuff, which most of them were kind of like you find them at other cons, and there's one in particular that doesn't go to cons around here that we didn't really get anything from because like we didn't really want to buy anything, but like we didn't really need to buy anything at the con except for food, and like that's pretty much it. Like PAX, you can get away with not spending hardly shit. But the one thing I really didn't like about PAX was there's so much pressure to do this and this and this. Like everyone, like there's a lot of, I mean, the crowds didn't really bother me surprisingly that much because usually I don't like huge crowds, but I was expecting it and it didn't bother me as much. But like the pressure to do all this stuff is what really like overwhelmed me. Like PAX was very overwhelming for me. Like I saw all this stuff, I'm like, oh, whoa, it's so much to do. Like the best sentence to describe PAX is so much to do in so little time. For PAX, there are things you're gonna miss. Like I know I felt satisfied at the end of the day doing all the things that I really, really want to. But then of course at the same time I'm like, I definitely had to have missed a few things that I would have loved or really liked to do. And I learned later that there was a ukulele demo at PAX, and I was really mad because I missed it. Because ukulele is very similar to Banjo-Kazooie, and that's the game I grew up with and was my childhood, and I'm like, well shit, I missed it. So of course PAX, you're gonna miss things. So it's like, it's sort of not satisfying. Like, it's not a very satisfying experience. I mean, I only went Friday, so I was only able to do as much as a time frame allowed me to. Like, the expo hall is like, it opens at 10 and it closes at 6, which isn't enough time. With all the stuff that's in there, like, that's not a whole lot of time. Especially if you're waiting in line for the majority of it. And of course, there's this huge pressure for people to meet Jacksepticeye and Markiplier, which honestly isn't a big deal to me. I really can't view them as celebrities that people want to follow and get autographs and pictures and stuff. It just doesn't seem right to me. I mean, they're just sort of people who just do what they want to do, and they're not really like A-class actors or anything. They're just playing games and just enjoying what they're doing. I don't see them that way. But like, so like, of course they were there, and I didn't see them because I wasn't gonna look for them because I'm like, you know what, that's not a big deal to me. I think Markiplier is a really funny guy. I like to watch his videos when I'm bored, but like, or if I need to laugh or something. But like, I don't view him as a celebrity or anything like that. So So of course there were panels. There were panels at the convention, but since the expo hall, there was so much to do there that I wasn't able to go into any of the panels. So like that's a little unsatisfying. So that's the one thing that I really don't like about PAX. It's very overwhelming. There's so much to do with so little time, and that there's just this pressure to do everything. I mean, I will definitely go again. Like, I felt like Friday was the best day to go, because Friday you're able to do everything. You're able to guarantee you're gonna get the stuff that you want because you don't have to worry about it running out. And the lines are a little less crazy because not as many people go on Friday. More people go on Saturday and Sunday. So I felt like Friday was the best day to go. So when I buy tickets to PAX East next year, I'll probably go for another Friday pass and do the same thing that I did this year, because Friday was honestly the best day to go. So I probably will. Also, I'm gonna plan a cosplay next year, because I sort of regret not doing it, but sort of at the same time I don't, because I didn't have the energy to do it this year. So next year I'm gonna plan on cosplaying, but just do something simple, not really like a extravagant cost or anything like that. So I hope you enjoyed this video and look forward to the QCK vlogs, because those will be next. So yeah, because QCK is this Saturday, can't you believe it? So that's what will be happening. I will be vlogging it again like I always do, so I hope you look forward to the vlogs, and I will see you at QCK. Bye.